Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Masayu Safira from PBI 2018, and now I'm going to answer 5 questions TFL methodology for meetings 2. The first question is, please mention and explain briefly the components of communication process. There are 6 components of communication. First, context. In context that may be a physical, social, chronological, or cultural. Every communication proceeds with context, and the sender chooses the message with context to communicate. Second, sender or encoder. The sender or encoder is a person who sends the message. It can be individual, group, or organization. A sender must use a symbol, words, graphic, visual to convey message and produce the required response. And then third, message. The communication process begins with deciding about the message to be conveyed. It must be ensured that is the main objective of the message is clear. The message is key an idea that the sender wants to communicate. And then fourth, medium. Medium is used to exchange or transmit the message. The sender must choose an appropriate medium for transmitting the message, else or the message might not be conveyed to the desired recipient or decoder, a person who the message intend, aim, or target. The degree which message the decoder can understand is depend upon various factors such as knowledge of the required and the responsiveness of the message, and then the reliance of encoder and decoder. And then 6, feedback. Feedback is the main component of communication process as it permits the sender to analyze the efficiency of the message. It helps the sender in confirming the correct interpretation of message by the decoder. The question number 2. Why do humans need language? They need language because without language they cannot speak each other, and also it allows us to share our idea, thoughts, and feeling with others. It has power to build a society, but it is depend on person who talks to. Number 3. The question is, please give your opinion about the periods, Dutch period, Japanese period, and independence period of English teaching in Indonesia. Which one do you think is the best teaching in period? In Dutch era, TFL was taught from junior high school or MULO to senior high school. At junior high school, English was a compulsory subject given 3 or 4 times in a week. In addition, the students still had to learn Dutch every day. The textbook and supplementary readings were plentiful, so they can improve their English fast by reading number of books. And then in Japanese era, during the Japanese occupation of Indonesia for 3.5 years, Dutch and English were totally banned. So in Japanese era, the Indonesian cannot learn English because the books get burned, and they really prohibit the citizen to learn English. In independence era, like 1655, with Japanese gun and Dutch book burned, there was considerable English textbook and dictionary. English was taught in beginning from junior high school and then senior high school using course book. One of them was called step by step like grammar, and then the method teaching was grammar translation method. I think the best era to teach English in independence era, when Indonesia has declared their freedom from the Japanese and Dutch, because independence period, they can easily spread the language all over Indonesia and then teach the language easier. We are without colonialism and without violence. Okay, the question number 4. In your opinion, what is the status of English compared to Indonesian nowadays? I think English nowadays is still in high level because it is now in era of globalization. Indonesia citizen, they have to speak English for ASEAN Economic Community, because the government hope Indonesia can compete with ASEAN and globally. But in Indonesia, in 2016, Indonesia was ranked in 32, and then decrease the rank in 2018 and 2019, become 61 rank. But in the parts of Indonesia like Sumatra or Java, the speaking has increased. Indonesia language in nowadays, Indonesia language now it have almost have the same level as the English language, because in Australia and the other country, they are teach Indonesia language in their university. So the student of the student Australia or the other country that have subject Indonesia, they have to speak in bahasa Indonesia. So bahasa Indonesia the level almost high as English nowadays, because Indonesia now is going to be language besides English language. Question number 5. Please explain briefly about the function of English Indonesia. So English Indonesia have the function. There are 6 functions: economic and business, and then second, international relation. For the example, when Indonesia have a relation with America. And then third, the media. For the example, CNN news or the other international news, because it is we have to know the current information. And then fourth, education. English is used in education. And then 5, communication or society, because English help us to know each other from another world. English as international or travel or safety. It can be a tour guide or etc. I think that's enough for my answer. I'm sorry if I have made mistake in this video. And the last say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.